Hi, my name's Tristan Hutton. I'm a singer-songwriter and producer from the UK, and I've been using SoundBridge since the very beginning of my musical journey. I'm here today to show you the very latest features of SoundBridge 2.9.0. Well, if you're like me and you spend quite a bit of time on SoundBridge, or whichever DAW it is that you use, having the ability to freshen up the look and feel of your user interface can have some serious benefits. So, say for example, you want the look and feel of SoundBridge to reflect the mood of the song you're working on, or you just want something that's easier on the eyes. Well, the new GUI customizable skin adjustments within SoundBridge 2.9.0 can do just that. Let me show you. So all I have to do is open Preferences, go to GUI down the bottom here, and then we see these new detail parameters which allow me to invert the colour, as well as control hue, saturation, brightness, contrast, exposure, and gamma. SoundBridge now also includes 34 preset skins, which are available as a premium feature, and I could select these from the presets menu here. If I ever need to return the GUI to the default skin, I can select Reset to Default up the top here. And I can save my own custom preset by selecting Save Preset. So for anyone who loves making music, having that peace of mind that your work is backed up and protected at all times is incredibly important. Now SoundBridge have included within SoundBridge 2.9.0 a new and improved revisions system within the DAW, which allows us to access all automatically saved versions of our projects and generate recovery files and backups to protect against data loss or file corruption. So let's head back into SoundBridge and I'll show you what I mean. So once you have a saved project, you'll find this new revisions feature available in the File menu. If I'm working on a default project that's not yet saved, the revisions option will be greyed out. And once I open this up, you can see that there are now 3 options: versions, backups, and recoveries. The versions list is essentially what we used to call save incremental. So these are project files that are simply saving on top of each other without changing any of the previously saved information. So in the same way as before, I would select Save Version periodically as I'm working on the project, and each time I do that, I would see my revision here without erasing the old version. I can also right-click and rename each version like so, and this can help me to track what is contained within each version of the project. So for example, I can name this one Brighter EQ, or whatever it may be. So the next menu here is Backups. Now this is a premium feature which will display the 10 most recent backup files created using this new Auto Backups feature. If I come out of here for a moment and go into Preferences and Global, you can see here that I have the ability to enable or disable this feature. And I also have the ability to customize the time intervals that will dictate how frequently SoundBridge will create automatic backup files of the current project. And the last list in this new revisions dialog is the recoveries list. This will show the 10 most recent automatically created recovery files. So what's happening here is that every 10 seconds, the software is actually creating an autosave in the background. So this will guard against any loss of data or corrupted files. So if you do ever find yourself in that worst case scenario where you go to open up a project file and it's corrupted or something's happened to it, then this feature just takes away all that stress. All I would have to do is open one of these recent file documents instead. This recoveries feature is enabled or disabled back in Preferences. So you can see here that we have the ability to toggle the project auto recoveries on or off like so. So I often import samples into my projects which have an undefined tempo, And SoundBridge 2.9.0 has just introduced the new tap tempo function, which allows us to determine the BPM of any sample. Let me show you. So down here, you'll now see this new tap tempo button, which I can map to any MIDI device or assign to a keyboard shortcut. The best way to show you this is in practice. So say I've got this house loop from the SoundBridge sound bank. I can play the sample in the file browser, and if I begin mapping the tempo like so, you can now see a new tap tempo BPM has been generated just above the tap tempo button here. And by clicking this, it will commit that tap tempo BPM to the global BPM selector in the box here. It's worth pointing out that the global BPM selector only impacts the tempo of the project between tempo automation blocks. So in this example, I have two tempo automation blocks like so, set to the global BPM of the project. If I generate a new tap tempo BPM and commit it like you see here, this will apply the tap tempo BPM between these automation blocks in the blank space only. So you'll see that when I hit play and the playhead moves through these spaces in the sequencer, the tempo in the global BPM selector will change accordingly. SoundBridge prides itself on being one of the most customizable DAWs on the market, and this final new feature I'm going to show you is a really good example of that. We're now able to relocate the edit window widget to any side of the sequencer, and I found this particularly useful for allowing me to see the full extent of the MIDI keyboard when I'm writing MIDI that has a wide melodic range. Well, that's about it from me for SoundBridge 2.9.0. Be sure to check out the release notes in the video description down below, and if you like, go and have a listen to my new single, Long Nights and Liquor, which was made by me entirely in SoundBridge. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.